Hi, Salvador. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, good evening. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you. And you? How are you today? Yes.
Thank you very much. Good. Okay, so uh, I'm going to have a very interesting one
Mhm.
hour today, and so makes me happy.
Okay.
So let's start. Hello, guys. Can you hear me all? I just punch Y if it is yes. Punch Y. Good. Very good. Thank you very much. Uh, welcome to good evening, everybody. Welcome to the ninth ELT Academia's webinar. Uh, during the past eight ones, we just had, which are all related to the previous Iranian year. So I would like to uh, say on behalf of all ELT Academia team, I would like to welcome you all and say Happy New Year. Salvador, just about 7 days ago, Iranian New Year
Uh-huh.
started. So that's why this
I,
is the first webinar in the new Iranian year. So I would like to say Happy New Year to all the Iranian ones. But I know that there is one thing common all around the world, and it is Mr. COVID 19, right? or coronavirus, who is the guest in all our countries. So I hope all of you are staying safe and at home, of course, and then safe and sound. Uh, okay, let's start the first webinar on technology this time. Uh, we have the very interesting, nice guy here as a guest. Let me introduce him, and then I just leave you with Dr. Salvador Montaner Villalba. So he is got his PhD on computational linguistics, computer assisted language learning at UNED in Madrid, Spain. His research focuses on mobile assisted language learning and particularly on the use of MAL, mobile assisted language learning, within the learning and teaching of English as a foreign language. Dr. Montaner combines teaching English for specific purposes at Universitat Politécnico de Valencia with online teacher training on ICT and CLIL at National Institute of Training Teachers on Educational Technology from the Central Department of Education in Spain. He is currently the chair of Computer Mediated Communication SIG Special Interest Group uh, of European Association of Computer Assisted Language Learning, Eurocall. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Dr. Salvador Montan. Salvador,
okay, good
please.
evening, everyone. I hope you can hear me. And well, today I would like to talk to you about Kahoot, which is an application that we usually use in mobile devices. Okay, and I'm going to try to give you some tips how to use Kahoot in your English classes. So, why Kahoot and why mobile learning? Well, nowadays, as you might know, millions of users use mobile phones and different mobile devices such as WhatsApp, Kahoot, Socrative, etc., etc. And many of these applications we do not use them for teaching and learning, such as WhatsApp, but we can use them in the context of teaching and learning languages. Okay. Then I also wanted to talk about mobile assisted language learning because there is a report, the title of which is Smartphones Users Worldwide 2014-2020. According to this report, we can say that there has been a notable increase of users. As you can see here, in 2007, 2.1 billions of people used mobile learning, and nowadays, in 2019, 2.5 billions of people are using mobile phones. Perhaps here in Europe we are in March 2020. I am completely sure that this has increased quite notably. And also I would like to mention very brief that even the UNESCO has studied, has published, has made different kinds of research on mobile learning. So if you want, you can have a look at this web of UNESCO, but it's not really necessary now. Basically, having said this, I would like to talk to you to explain different uses. I would like to explain how we can use Kahoot and what types of activities we can make with Kahoot. Okay, so I would recommend you to create an account in Kahoot because we might need to do something in the webinar. We might need to practice in the webinar while you are listening to me. Okay, so to open Kahoot, you are going to go to the website kahoot.com. Okay, you can open it if you like. And you will create an account. You can create a free account. This is what you are going to do. You can also create a premium account, but I think that it is okay if you create a free account. It's not necessary to work with a premium one. Okay, so when you get access to your Kahoot, we're going to begin to create our first Kahoot. Okay. So as you can see in the PowerPoint, this is the first step I get when I create my own account in Kahoot. So this is the dashboard, what we call the dashboard. Okay. In this part of the dashboard on the left, you can find your own profile with the number of Kahoots you have created, etc., etc. In the middle, if you have some Kahoots, you can see here your own Kahoots which you have created if you have used it before, or if not, you will find your own Kahoots here in the middle when you begin creating. And here on the right, you will find latest reports from your own Kahoots once you have created them and once your students have done Kahoots here. Okay, So this is what the first thing you will find when you create your own account in Kahoot. After that, we will try to create our first Kahoot. So in your dashboard, there is a blue button which says Create New. Exactly. Thanks a lot for the arrow. Okay. So then you're going to click on the blue button, Create New, and you will see here a box which says Create a new Kahoot. Okay. And I'm going to try to show you different types of Kahoots within this webinar. Okay, so you will find this box here, and once you have found this box here, you will find you can click here on New Kahoot, Create, and then you will find here the next step. In this step, we are going to start typing our questions. Okay, I will explain later in what uses we can do this, but very basic. This is creating Kahoot is something easy to do, and the first thing you need to do here is to write your own question. As you can see here, you can drag and drop image from your computer. Okay, and here you can see the time you can set for the activity. And normally every question is going to have at least two options, and if you want you can create one more option or four options. Okay, so once we have once we have written the questions and included the four options, we will write a title for this activity with a short description. The title is obligatory, but the description is optional. However, I would recommend you to write a short sentence to describe this kind of Kahoot. Okay, so normally we're going to save the different Kahoots here, save to my Kahoot. Okay, and I can also include a cover image for each Kahoot, also with a language. So this, in my case, because I teach English, I would include English here, but if you teach other languages, you can also include the language which you are teaching here. Okay, so once you have done this, in the same step, you're going to find the language, as I said. Okay, I want to focus on this, and then before clicking on the button Done, you're going to choose here the type of music you want to listen in the Kahoot. This kind of application, Kahoot, allows students to do a task at the same time they are listening some kind of music, because this motivates them for the learning practice. Okay, so once we have clicked, everything is playing here, then I will click at the end the button Done to continue. Okay, as I have said before, once you have created your own Kahoot, you have here the time setter. This means that you are going to decide how many seconds the students are going to have for answering one question. From 10 seconds, 20, 60 seconds, 90, until 240 seconds. Normally, I would include between 20 and 30 seconds because this makes the task quick. Students need to do something quick and motivating, something which makes them think and they have to be quick to do the activity. 240 seconds, I think, is too long for them. Perhaps it depends on the level of students, on their needs, something like this. You can decide on your own what is most convenient at the time you decide your own Kahoot. Okay, so after this, you have here the 4 options, and you should always choose when you are doing the exercise, when you are designing the task, you must choose what is the correct answer. Otherwise, if you don't do this, students will not be able to check if they completed the task properly or not. Okay? Perhaps two answers can be correct, but in this case, only one answer is correct. Okay? It is very important that you decide the correct answer for the students. Then, once we have finished designing this task, this message we can see it. And what does it say, this message? It says the Kahoot is ready to be played. So this means that we are ready to play with students this Kahoot. Okay? So we have 2 options. We might click on test this Kahoot, and we might want to share this Kahoot with others. We could share the Kahoot in the social networks, or we can share the Kahoot with email with colleagues. Okay, and once you have decided what to do, then we will click on done, on the button done, to continue with the activity. There are different types of activities that we can do with Kahoot. For example, we could design our own quiz. We can also design true, false Kahoots, open-ended. Okay. However, I will focus only on quiz and true or false. Well, I will focus on these ones mainly because, as you can see here in open-ended, puzzle, poll and slide, there is a symbol which means that these activities are premium. We have to pay for designing this kind of activities. So this is up to you. This is optional if you want to do this, but for today I will try to explain how to do a Kahoot with quiz and how to do a true false Kahoot. Okay. Okay, why do I want to use Kahoot? For example, I might want to check if students understood some text. Okay, for example, in my school, at university or at secondary school, we want students to read. So we are normally can use Kahoot to check if they understood what they are reading. So this is an interesting option for learners to use Kahoot, and at the same time they are having fun and they are being motivated by using Kahoot. At the same time they practice whether they understood the reading comprehension. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen now. So that you can see much better what I'm trying to explain. Okay, I'm sharing now my screen with you, and I'm going to show you, for example, this reading all about Australia. I did this with students of secondary school some years ago, okay, and they were required to read a graded book called All About Australia. So, what did I do here? I did, as you can see, a quiz, and according to this quiz, I'm going to show you how did I do it. I included in this Kahoot 5 different questions, and in each question I included different sentences which students had to end, and I gave them 3 different options at each quiz. So when I finished designing this task, then I invited my students to play this Kahoot, and perhaps you would like to play with me this activity so that you can see what is the result, what is the main result of this activity. Okay, so it says play, then I click on teach because I want to play a live game with my students. In this case, if you want to, you can do this game with me. So once everything is ready for students, as you can see in my screen, this will be how students will see in the classroom the final appearance of the task. Okay, so it says we can play basic Kahoot, which is the free version, up to 50 players. Up to 50 players, it is okay, we don't need to pay for it. And then we can choose here if we want to play classic game or team mode. Classic game means that students are going to use their mobile phones one each. And team mode means that I'm going to offer the students the opportunity to do this in teams of 3, 4, depending on how many they are using mobile at that moment. Okay, but before we begin playing the webinar, I would like to show you some things which might be useful for you. Here it says game options. Game options means that we can set up some criteria depending on what we want to do in the activity. So we have 3 different game options, which are 2 options recommended, some general options, and then some advanced options. As you can see in the recommended one, there is a personalized learning with a symbol, meaning we have to pay for this, so we're not going to focus on this. We can, if we click here on friendly nickname generator, this means that we are generating nicknames which are friendly, which are nice for students. In my case, I think this is important because if you do this with teenagers, sometimes they think of nicknames which are not nice. So, if you are working with teenagers, I would recommend you to click this. If not, you don't have to click this, but this depends on the level of English you are teaching. Then the general options, you have lobby music. This means you can change here, you can click, you can choose the kind of music you want them to listen at the same time they are doing the task. Then we can randomize order of questions. If I click here, this means that when the students play, they're not going to see the questions in the order as I created the Kahoot. It can be at any order. If I want to select randomized order of answers, the answers will appear in any order. Okay, and then maybe I want to show minimized intro instructions. So this means that if I click here, I will be activating the option to help students read some short instructions before beginning play the game. Okay. So if you would like to, perhaps, dear Mojava, have you got a few minutes to play this with participants here?
Okay, that's a good idea, Salvador. If guys, would you like to play games right now? That's the game Salvador made. Yes, played. Yes, Punch Y. Oh, very good. Oh, you really like games,
Yes, they
Salvador.
want to.
So, okay, so could you share the game pin? Then we just go through that.
Okay,
Okay.
so we do it in the classic mode. I understand. Okay, this, and then when I click on the classic mode, then the participants could have a look at the code number which they need to use in their mobiles. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So everybody, could you open your Kahoot website or your application? Then you have to add this game pin. Are you familiar with the case? Yeah. Okay. If you just know that, enter 61 96 28, then Okay, we'll wait. John, we'll wait. Don't worry. So let me do it myself. I don't want to miss the game myself.
Okay.
Okay, 6196. Okay, let me.
Okay, we only have 8 players. Are there any more participants?
I just entered.
Okay.
Salvador, what should I do? Yes, you can enter the pin 619628. Just type down the pin.
Okay, I need to know when you want me to start. I mean, if all of you are entering, I have to wait until Mojava says to me, okay, click on start.
Salvador, I just have a page on my top right. I have my nickname, and in the middle, someone said, "You're in. See your nickname on the screen. See your nickname on the screen."
Yes.
So, and no other
Yes.
things to click. What should I do?
I can, in fact, I can see here 18 players, 19 players now, 20. Okay, do you want me to click on start, Mojava?
So, yes, of course, I couldn't.
Well,
Just let me just try it again. I could enter, but the point is that I just faced a page. It is just there. You are in, but I cannot do anything there.
no, but I mean, I, I,
After start it, then
I'm
I
going
don't have
to
access.
click here on start. Okay? Okay, I'm going.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yes,
Getting ready.
I mean, I had to click on start, but I needed to know if I could already begin.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, let's start. What's the question?
The question is here at the top of the screen,
The question is
and
there.
then you have
I
to
got it.
choose.
Rainforest grow on sand on. I got it. Rainforest grow
Exactly.
on sand.
Okay, then I'm going to next. Okay, and this is nice because you can see the results of the different students who are doing the activity. Okay, then if I click next, you have the second question.
Is the capital city of Australia? Sydney, Canberra, Melbourne. For example, this one.
Okay, so
Uh, my question is on the webinar page. So question is here. Answer is in your
yes.
Kahoot page. Okay.
Okay, so then three more questions. Okay, and as you know, we have four Okay, there are, of course, I know there are more participants doing the activity, but Kahoot only allows to
Mhm.
see the four top results. Okay,
Mhm.
and then I continue.
Question number 3. Okay, go on, guys. Everybody. What? Yes or no? The question is here on the webinar page.
Yeah.
Has got thousands of
At the top
marine
of the
species.
screen in the center.
Great Barrier Reef has got thousands of marine. Very difficult question, Salvador.
Hmm.
It's based on
Yes,
reading, right? So the students were supposed to read
exactly.
something in
Students were
advance.
supposed to read a short book in advance. And then, well, instead of asking them to write a traditional paper or a traditional essay, I like the idea of asking students to do something motivating in Kahoot. Okay.
Mhm. Has got an enormous rock like a wave. Mhm.
Okay, and as you can see, we have here the results, and we're going to see what happens. Okay, participants
Mhm.
are getting higher and higher results, and this is motivating for the students because they are when they see their names in the screen with the highest points, they feel like happy and they want more and more. Okay, and then there is one more question, I think.
Mhm. Is sacred to the Anangu people. So very difficult. How can we read it? Uluru.
Hmm?
Hmm?
Perhaps.
What creek? Oh my gosh.
Okay, and I click on next, and then Kahoot here is showing us the podium. What does this mean? The podium is showing us participant 1, 2, and 3. Okay, the three first participants who got the highest marks.
Okay, good. Good whatever. Who is Mr. Whatever, Mrs. Whatever? Who's
Okay,
that? Abdul Amir number 2. Okay, Shirin,
and
good.
then
Shirin from Turkey.
And
Mm.
then if I want, as a teacher, I can get feedback. I can get feedback. And this means that I will, uh, this is useful for me as a teacher because I know the students who achieved better results. Okay. And what can I do next as a teacher? I can view the report. I can click here. Let's see what happens. And here I can see that 31st participants. Okay, but I need to do this in detail. I need to pay. Okay, I need to upgrade. So I'm not going to do this at the moment. But maybe it's if participants are interested, they I think they should know that they can make some research on how students improved, whether they did not improve by observing details such as the accuracy and so on. Okay, or I can save these results in Google Drive or direct download in the computer. Okay, so I would like to go back to the PowerPoint, please. Can I go back to the PowerPoint, please?
Oh,
Only
yes, of course.
1 minute.
You said you just stop. You have to stop. There's one. There's a stop sharing. Over there exactly.
Okay.
Do we have more
Yes,
games,
but
Salvador?
are you going to upload?
It is requested.
Or
It
yes.
is requested.
Ah, okay. Okay. Thank you. So I mean, we have more. Okay. Uh, so this is an example of a code to check if students understood reading, for example. Okay, and we have more. Uh, okay, this is the process when I designed this activity, how I did it. Title of the Kahoot, reading all about Australia, description. I can include an image here. Language is the dynamic is the same in every kind of Kahoot I do. Then I write here the questions and I include the different options for students. And well, we have already done this. Okay, this is the appearance, as you have seen, of the final Kahoot. I have also told you in general terms how you can configure this for before beginning the game with students, especially randomized order of questions and randomized order of answers. This, I think, this is interesting for you. Okay, and as you have already seen, there is a game pin number which students must write in the mobile in order to play. Now I'm going to show you how to create a true-false task with Kahoot. Okay, so I click here in the option true or false. And then I'm going to share again the screen from my computer. Okay, thank you, Mujaba. So in this case, oh, I didn't create this task, but anyway, I'm going to explain it to you with a PowerPoint. Can you share the PowerPoint, Mojava, please?
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
that's it.
Okay, so in the case of true-false questions, I'm going to write a sentence, and students are going to decide if the sentence is true or false. So perhaps I could add a third option, which I would say doesn't say in the text, but it's okay this way. You can set up the time limit as usually, and you can also drag and drop an image from the computer. Then another example of task, although as I have said at the beginning of the webinar, could be open-ended. Open-ended means that you are not going to include options. You are going to design reading comprehension tasks so that the students can write an answer. But we are not going to give them options. We want them to answer some questions, for example, and we can also check if they understood the text. Okay. However, this symbol, I would like to say that if you want to do these kind of tasks here, you will have to use a premium version of Kahoot. Okay, so it is important that you note if you want to do it or not. Then we can also use Kahoot to practice vocabulary. Okay, so in this exercise, which I am showing to you, we want students to revise vocabulary which we have previously learned in a traditional class. So in this case, I want students to review a specific kind of vocabulary, for example, verbs. Okay, and the question is to have fun. Okay, so I want my students to choose which is the correct answer. To think about life, to share books, to talk about the virus. I think this is nice. This is a nice task for them to review vocabulary. Let's see if I have this task here. If not, I will look for you a task in a few minutes. Then I can also create more types of Kahoots. I have different kinds of templates which might be useful for us as language teachers. For example, Kahoot for formative assessment. I would recommend you to create this kind of Kahoot because this is a mobile application which allows you to evaluate your students to do continuous assessment. Okay, so if you choose to create this one, you are going to evaluate continuously what they have been learning during the month, during the term, or perhaps at the end of the year, during the academic year. So basically with Kahoot, we can practice specific issues such as vocabulary, okay, grammar, any kind of grammar, and reading. Perhaps you will ask to me, okay, why not listening or why not speaking? Kahoot was not designed by the owners as a tool to practice speaking, or okay, perhaps listening it could be nice because in the same way as we have done with the reading. Okay, we have included true/false questions with the reading. We have included multiple choice with the reading, so we could apply this also to listening. But speaking is not really. We have other kinds of mobile applications which are much better to practice speaking. It's not the case of Kahoot. Writing. Okay. Writing texts, I don't think Kahoot is appropriate for that because, as you have seen, Kahoot is very limited to specific kinds of tasks such as reviewing vocabulary or grammar. Okay, if you want to practice writing with mobile applications, maybe you can use other applications such as mobile in such as blogging, mobile version, things like this. Okay. So, would you like to do another game before we continue? I think we are limited of time, and well, Mojava, shall we share my
Yes, please.
screen, please, so that I
Yes, you want to share?
okay,
Yes,
thank you.
please.
Okay, I'm going to.
Of course. Ask easier questions, Salvador, this time. I want to be number one.
Okay, I will. Okay, this is very easy. For example, I'm going to show you a task I created on travel. So this is for reviewing vocabulary related to travel. And I did it in the format of a quiz, as you can check here. Okay, and I decided that students could have 30 seconds for each task. Okay, so okay, I would like to invite participants to play and see how the appearance is for the students. Click on play, then I click on teach. I could also click on a sign if I want students to do this as homework. But since I want to do it in the same classroom, I will click on teach. Okay, and then again we have come to the appearance before students begin the play. Okay, so if you are teaching teenagers, again I recommend you to click here on so that you can generate friendly nicknames. This is up to you. I can choose any kind of lobby music. I can activate randomized order of questions, and for example, okay, I'm going to leave it in this way. And then depending on the number of students, I might want to do team mode or classroom mode. Okay. And this is the game pin you have to include.
Okay, so 1932-60.
Okay, so I'm going to start.
Mhm. Okay, good.
If you Mojaba, if you want me to stop because of the time, please let me know.
Okay, okay, I will tell you. Okay, guys, everybody, go on. You into a hotel.
Okay, the question is here at the top of the screen, always in the center. Okay, then I
Okay, 13
continue,
questions. Hmm.
and then the results of the students are here. Always the five students with the top results. Next one.
In some countries, you have to
Okay,
register your
here
arrival card before you can.
I can see how many students are answering this question. And on the left of the screen, I can see the seconds which are decreasing. Okay, so then I click on next. Okay, next, and the results are changing. Okay, okay, this is for students quite funny because I mean I insist they like watching their own names there with their own points, so they feel really excited, okay, and they enjoy at the same time they are reviewing contents. Okay, next.
So, guys, are you going to go on to the 11th one or no? I can just ask Salvador to skip that
Whatever
one,
you
huh?
want.
Continue?
I mean, how many questions have we got?
Okay,
How
please skip. Okay, we can skip. So the majority say skip. Okay, could you go to the next part,
yes,
please,
yes, okay. I
Salvador?
mean, we can continue with the next part, okay? And I mean, I basically I want the participants to get an idea of what the dynamics of Kahoot is, okay? But I mean, we don't have to
Mm.
finish the game, okay? We can end at any moment, and then we can see the podium of the three participants with the best results.
Armagan, well
Okay,
done, Armagan.
okay, so then I will continue here. Can I use the PowerPoint, please?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And well, we are almost finished the webinar, but it is also important for you that once you have created several Kahoots and then you have played with your students 4, 5, 10 Kahoots, 20, whatever. In your own profile, you can go to my reports, and then you can have access here to your own Kahoots, to the different Kahoots which you have created, the dates, and you can download here the results of the different results of the various Kahoots which we have created. Okay. We could also check in this Kahoot, the ones you have done a few minutes ago. I did it with 12 players, but because this is a premium service, I can only see the 5 participants with the better results, with their nicknames, and in terms of percentage, the accuracy of every participant who played in this trouble vocabulary task. Why am I explaining this? Because I think it is important for you to analyze why each student is obtaining some these results, and maybe this could also help us to know how to create better Kahoots in the future. Okay, then in the same screen where we have our own reports, we can download these reports in different options. You can download the reports in the format of Excel or spreadsheet. As you can see here, you can save the spreadsheet in Google Drive, or you could even want to play again with students the Kahoot, or perhaps you want to delete the game, which I would not recommend, but this depends on you. And here, when you have downloaded the different outcomes of this Kahoot, for example, the one on travel vocabulary, you can see here this is a spreadsheet in the Microsoft Office Excel, and you can have look at the name of students, the total scores they got in their Kahoot, okay, and a summary for each question of the results in question number one, then question number two, which would be next, and so on. This is basically, as I have said, interesting if you want to analyze their strengths, their weaknesses, whether they improved or not specific vocabulary, specific grammar, or and this could help you to do how to improve your own thoughts to practice same specific points you have done before. And well, I think this is going to be the last slide, and I would like to thank you, all of you, for your patience. I would like to thank you for staying there, listening to me. And well, maybe if you have some questions, it would be a pleasure for me to answer you.
Thank you very much, Salvador. And okay, now time to have questions. So there were two questions. One question, at least, I just read in the chat box. The question was, what's the difference between what was that? Shirin asked the team mode and the classic mode, right? Yeah, that is that. Difference between team mode and classic mode. What's the
classic
difference, Salvador,
mode
between
means
these two?
that if you have in the class 10 students, each student is going to use their own mobile. Okay, 10 students, 10 mobiles. This is classic mode. And team mode means that I will explain you from my own experience. Sometimes students do not have always mobiles, or they do not have enough space in the mobile. You know, sometimes the mobile is a bit risky because it might happen that you don't have enough megas in the mobile. So then, in those cases, you choose team mode because you facilitate students to work in teams.
Okay, and one more thing, I just found it myself interesting was that when you were doing, I'm just talking to the guys, when you were doing, the quizzes or even true false items, the point is that the quicker you click on the answer, then in fact, your point is more. So there are many people who answer properly or choose the right choice, but the one who has clicked sooner has more points, and that is another interesting point for using Kahoot in the class. I really like that. And makes it more competitive, and then you need to just work quickly and then do it.
Exactly, we are trying. I like Kahoot because we are encouraging students to be competitive. But of course, this is a health competition. I mean, Kahoot is not only a mobile application, it is also an application that we use to gamify the classroom. Exactly.
Class gamification, yeah. Salvador, question is, what's the difference between, is there a difference between the options on the website and on the app, or no, they are the same?
No, they are the same. They are the same. However, normally, at least here in Spain and in Europe, from what I know, students prefer using the mobile version.
Okay, then Baraja has taken the mic. Baraja, are you going to say anything? Can you hear me, Baraja? Okay, so let's have the next question. Is there any difference between what's the use of alternative text and credits when creating a
Can you
new
repeat that?
question, Salvador?
What's the difference
Alternative text and
between?
credit. Not the use of it, the
Oh,
use of alternative text and credits. It is there in the chat
what
box
is the
if you want to
question?
read the
Can I?
question. Well, the question is nearly the top. What is the use of alternative text and credits
Okay,
when creating a
credits
new question?
refer to the name of the teachers, to the name of students. The alternative text refer to the to if you want to add an additional comment to make something clear for students.
Mm-hmm. Can we make the question? Next question is played was classic. What we played was classic. So was it classic? What we played was classic,
No,
or
I
I
did
think
with
team it
classic.
was, huh?
We did with classic
Oh, it
because
was
I
classic.
understood
Okay.
that
Mm-hmm.
the 41 participants were going to use their own mobile phones.
Mm-hmm. So the next question is, we can create all these both through our websites and app on mobile, right? So we can
Exactly.
make all these quizzes and things on
No,
both of them, right? Or
normally
no,
I
just on the
create
website?
on the computer. I create a computer. I mean, I could also
On the
create in the
computer.
mobile, but it is much more comfortable, much more practical to create the tasks in the computer. But I mean, then when I go to the classroom, we are not normally using computers. So, because we are not normally working with computers, students come with their mobiles, or if we have tablets, then I can, in the school, then I bring the tablets of the school to the classroom, and then students can access to Kahoot from the tablets.
From the tablets. Any other questions, guys? I didn't see any question here. If there's any other question, so please share. I will ask Salvador, and then. So I think we can just keep it as the classroom for the classroom activity, and then keep it as the
Right.
homework,
Yeah,
right? We just
yeah, you can use.
this is the case. And one more question, Salvador. This came to my mind. Can we access the games of other people? I mean, does it have a reservoir or a source of games which are made by other
Yes,
people without
you can
making
also
it,
do
then
that.
just
I
make
mean,
it,
if you
just
don't
play
have
it?
time to create your own Kahoot, you can go to an
Hmm.
icon, an icon of searching, and you can write, for example, I want students to practice on past simple and past continuous, or I want them to practice on specific English on engineering. So maybe for some reason I don't have time to design the Kahoot, so I go to the search engine, which is within the Kahoot application, and then I write English for engineering, and then I will find Kahoots related to this. And then I can also change things. I mean, uh, I don't need to use the code which I have found there. I can also make changes according to what I need.
So that means that I can just search for example, a topic, and say, or a skill or sub skill or system. For example, I want to have a vocabulary test. Then there's a classification for vocabulary test, right? And for example, grammar one. And then if I want to check, for example, present continuous, can I find some Kahoot quizzes on continuous, for example,
Yes, you
present
can find
continuous, for
many
example, like
Kahoots on
this?
present continuous. And
Is it in the freemium
they are
section or in the
free.
premium section? It's in the freemium. Very good. Okay. Any other questions? No, most of the guys thanked. So uh, I should say thank you very much, all the guys who just took the burden to join the webinar from all around Iran and other countries. Of course, we had Baracha to ask a question. I don't know if he could find the answer or not. You can text or you can take the mic if you want to have your question raised. Abdul Amir, thank you very much. So, if there is no question, I would like to thank you very much, Salvador, for having your time, being with ELT Academia, and presenting for us. I hope you enjoyed the participants. And how about the participants? How was the participants' reactions? Did you find Kahoot an interesting one? How do you rate Kahoot, please? Could you give a rate from 1 to 5, in which 5 means very good and 1 means not at all good? So 5, very good. Great, great. Kahoot is a great means for teaching, Sheila. Okay, very good. And 4, Behnush, I'll use it surely. Oh, very good. So how many of you will try to use it from tomorrow? Yes? Me. Okay, good. So, very good. Zakia, how's Algeria? How is Algeria? So we had guests from Spain, Algeria, and some other countries. Tony from Britain and many other ones. So let's give it a try. Okay, so give it a try, then you will see how important it is. And okay, so on behalf of all my team in ELT Academia, behind the scene, I would like to thank you very much. And I hope I just see you in our next webinar, and in fact, and see Salvador in Eurocall in the next coming conference.
No,
where is it?
Denmark.
It is in Belgium, I think.
In
Denmark. So is it going to be held or not? Or it is postponed?
I know that initially they want to take place the Congress, but they are also considering the idea of organizing it through web conference because of the health problem we are having. I know they are considering two options at the same time, face to face and also in internet.
Internet. Okay, so I just want to tell you that the capacity in Iran working with technology is too much. So as a person who just took part and just saw a very small portion of this capacity, I would like to just consider that in your next conferences, seminars, and share it with us. I'm quite sure Iranian teachers are really keen to learn about technology, using it in their classes, and then and with the outbreak of COVID-19, then that would be more serious if they want to use it in the class. So try to consider this community, the community of practice in Iran, as a good potential to support Eurocall and all the seminars or webinars or anything there. Okay,
we will. And
thank you very much. Have a very good night. Of course, here it is 10:40 p.m. and I think it is around 8, right?
It's 2020 here.
8:10. 2020 there. Okay. Have a very good time.
Thank you very much.
See you next time. Bye. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you for coming and joining. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much. I hope I see you in the next webinar of ELT Academia. Thank you very much. Bye.